create perfect dovetails every time with Lee Rubber Joinery Jigs, the world's most versatile joinery system. Through dovetails in an infinite variety of sizes and layouts. Half-blind dovetails in any size or spacing. Sliding dovetails, perfectly repeatable finger or box joints. Mortise and tenons, and another patented Lee invention, unique and beautiful isolock joints. The Lee jig system is unique. It is unlike any other router joinery system in the world, combining simplicity of use with unparalleled versatility. There are a number of router dovetail jigs on the market. By router dovetail jigs, we mean a jig where the workpieces are clamped under a guide template, and a handheld portable router is used to route the two parts of the joint. The router is steered on the jig guide surfaces by a guide bush fixed in the router base. For the sake of comparison, we will show a number of different types of jigs. This will help us to illustrate the Lee jig's unique versatility and just how easy it is to use. Through dovetails, where both sides of the joint show through on the corner. Most other through dovetail jigs consist of matching pairs of fixed space templates, which are mounted to a beam. If you want a different joint spacing or size, you have to buy another pair of templates. Like the fixed templates, on one side, the Lee template has the familiar fork-shaped guide openings, under which the through dovetail tails are cut. On the opposite side are the equally familiar angled pin guides, under which the through dovetail pins are routed. In fact, the Lee finger assembly could simply be attached to a beam to make it a fixed-space, single-sized through dovetail jig. But this would be a waste of the Lee jig's potential, because with the Lee jig, there are a number of important differences that add flexibility and beauty to your woodworking projects. First, the Lee D4 jig allows for an almost infinite number of selections for joint size, tightness of fit, and adjustment. To create a layout tail, simply loosen the guide fingers and adjust by measurement or by eye. Since each pin guide and its mating socket are on the same guide finger, wherever a pin guide is positioned, the matching socket is automatically set in the correctly aligned position on the tailboard. All of the pins will always align with all of the tails. It's simple and foolproof alignment for creative design. The Lee adjustable finger template also allows for the routing of joints in thicker boards on the same jig. Each guide finger is divided in the middle to make a pair of guides. This Lee innovation means wider pins can be created, and larger diameter guide bushes and larger dovetail cutters can be utilized. This makes for deeper dovetail sockets, which in turn accept the deeper pins of thicker boards. On the Lee jig, both the through dovetail pins and tailboards are routed on the same front side of the jig body. This is possible because the self-contained guide finger assembly can be rotated to position either the tail or pin guide surfaces to the front. Joint alignment of pins to sockets is automatic. With through dovetails, flushness is adjusted by the depth of cut on the router. The joint tightness is adjusted by moving the pin side of the template back and forth relative to the clamping face. All through dovetail joint tightness and flushness of fit adjustments and initial settings are achieved in exactly the same way on all dovetail jigs, including the Lee. However, with the detachable finger assembly on the Lee jig, it is easy to adjust and set the assembly on any pre-recorded setting. This works with not just one, but any of the 7 different cutter sizes for any board thickness from 1/8 inch to 1 1/4 inches. The finger assembly has precise and easy-to-use scales. The scales are color-coded, silver for through dovetails and green for half-blind dovetails. and each scale has an icon which clearly shows which mode the jig is in. The scales on the Lee jig allow you to change rapidly from one setting to another with complete accuracy. When the correct scale setting for tightness is recorded, the Lee jig is as repeatable as any fixed template. These unique features combine to make the Lee the most versatile of all through dovetail jigs. Half-blind dovetails, where only one side of the joint shows. With non-adjustable half-blind dovetail templates, both the pins and tails of the joint are routed together with a dovetail cutter under the same guise. So the pins, tails, and sockets are all the same size, with a fixed spacing or pitch, with no guarantee there will be a half pin on each edge of the joint. To access the half-blind dovetail guide surfaces on the Lee jig, you simply turn the finger template assembly end over end. The icon on the scale now clearly shows a half-blind pin board. On the pin side, instead of angled guide surfaces on top, there are now parallel pin guide surfaces running straight in and out. These half-blind pin guides are similar to the recessed part of a half-blind template. The rounded tail side is similar to the tail guide of the fixed half-blind template. Tail boards are clamped vertically in the jig, and the tails routed around the radius tail guides. Because the half-blind joints on the Lee D4 jig are uniquely variable, the tails and pins are routed separately. All the tail boards are routed first. Then the finger assembly is rotated toward you to access the half-blind pin guides. Just like the half-blind template, the pin boards are routed horizontally, using the same dovetail cutter at the same depth as for the tails. As with all routed half-blind dovetails, it's the depth of cut, a router adjustment, which determines the tightness of fit. Moving the finger assembly in or out determines the flushness of fit. This is true of all half-blind dovetail jigs. However, the quickly adjustable half-blind scales of the Lee gives you precise settings in both tail and pin modes based on any tailboard thickness. Fixed templates usually only go up to ½ an inch on the tails. Because the Lee guide fingers give automatic alignment of pins and tails, the two boards are not offset in the Lee jig as they are in the non-adjustable template. And only Lee offers 4 different cutter angles and depth of cut for half-blind dovetails to suit any drawer front thickness. Also, because the Lee jig allows you to design a half pin at each side of all joint layouts, all the corners can be routed at one end of the jig, regardless of drawer size. No other dovetail jig allows you to create this traditional handcrafted look with variably spaced joints, as on this beautiful Shaker-inspired chest of drawers. Even inlaid dovetails for a dramatic look. With the Lee D4 jig, you automatically get a third dovetail function, not available as standard on fixed template-style router assemblies: sliding dovetails. By fitting the Lee crosscut bar into the guide finger template, it is simple to route sliding dovetails. Virtually any dovetail cutter and guide bush combination may be used to route any angle, depth, or width of sliding dovetail. With the Lee jig, you have all the flexibility you need to route this extremely useful joint. The versatility of the Lee jig is further enhanced by a variety of optional accessories that are integral parts of the Lee system. They all make woodworking more enjoyable and more creative. The Lee M2 Multiple Mortise and Tenon Attachment. The only template of its kind, the Lee M2 allows you to route perfectly mating rows of mortises and tenons in boards from 5/16 up to 1½ inches thick by 24 inches wide. The mortise boards are routed horizontally. The guide bush controls 3 sides of the mortise against the guide fingers. The plunge router base against the M2 guide fence controls the fourth side. Tenons for through or blind joints are routed on the other end of the guide fingers, just like dovetails. Joint layout is infinitely adjustable, and joint alignment is automatic, the same as on dovetails. Tenons also may be easily routed square, and the mortise corners chiseled out square to suit. You can also route box joints on the Lee M2. They can be from 5/8 inches wide and larger, in variable sizes and spacing. And now available for the M2, 2 new guide bushes, and instructions for routing jumbo-size half-blind dovetails, with the largest 8-degree Lee dovetail cutters, in boards up to 1 1/2 inches thick by 24 inches wide. These massive half-blind dovetail joints cannot be achieved on any other jig. The Lee F1 finger joint template. The patented Lee F1 finger joint template, combined with the patented Lee variable guide bush system, is the most comprehensive, versatile, and accurate finger jointing system available to the home woodworker and small shop professional. No other tool produces such a wide range of sizes and types of finger joint, and all with the precisely adjustable tightness of fit provided by the Lee variable guide bush system. You can make 9 sizes of box joint, from 1/2 inch by 24 inches wide, down to a tiny 1/16 of an inch, and 4 sizes of unique rounded half-blind finger joints, or square half-blind box joints, or round to square through joints. Although the Lee F1 is a fixed template, the 2 mating workpieces are not offset in the jig. Instead, the template is moved over and indexed by a precision pin to ensure perfect joint alignment. It's this unique system which allows for multiple template stepping to achieve joints half of the nominal comb size, and even a quarter size, down to as small as 1/16 of an inch. And each F1 includes the 8-piece precision CNC machined Lee variable guide bush system for perfect fit. Just 1/8 of a turn of the tapered bush changes the joint glue line fit by 1/1000th of an inch. No other box jointing method allows for the range and precision of the Lee F1 template. Lee Industries invented these new Isolock woodworking joints and the templates to route them. Isolock joints can only be made by a router. They are impossible to cut by hand. Isolock joints are beautiful and strong, combining the mechanical interlocking strength of dovetails with the multiple glue surfaces of finger joints. Isolock joints are decorative and fun, and the precision fit is again ensured by Lee's unique variable guide bush system. Isolock joints are available in 6 designs on 3 templates: the ellipse, the wave, the key, the mirror key, clover, and bear's ears. Primarily intended as half-blind corner joints, Isolock joints can also be routed as through joints, end-on-end joints, or easily made end-on-end lap joints. And by using 2 different cutter sizes, beautiful inlay lines can be incorporated. And moving the template or the workpieces between routing steps also makes it possible to route remarkable shadow inlays for even more spectacular joinery. The integral clamping system on the Lee jig incorporates Lee's patented cam action speed clamps. These immensely strong, true cam action clamps, made from glass reinforced nylon, easily apply powerful clamping pressure. And they have a true cam release with far more unclamped clearance than eccentric type clamps, making it much easier to insert and clear workpieces. And Lee cam clamps are quick to adjust. Lee Industries also offers you these exclusive options to make your woodworking projects even more creative and satisfying. Because all Lee jigs work by using guide bushes in the router, Lee has developed the Lee Universal Guide Bush System. This comprehensive system of guide bushes and router base adapters ensures that Lee jigs and the unique variable guide bush system can be used with virtually any router worldwide. Routers and jigs produce a large amount of dust and chips. That's why we created the Lee Router Vacuum Attachment, the RVA-1. Coupled to a shop vacuum system, the RVA-1 will pick up most routing waste. The Lee Vacuum to Router Attachment method makes it almost universally usable, and the RVA-1 is the only under-router system that will work on virtually all dovetail jigs. Top vacuum systems on routers are ineffective on dovetail jigs. The chips and dust are thrown out horizontally at high speed, and only the articulated catcher on the RVA-1 allows the range of router movement necessary on joinery jigs. Each Lee dovetail jig comes with a user guide, which is the finest in the industry. Each chapter is clearly illustrated with comprehensive instructions, giving step-by-step directions for each type of joint and each Lee attachment. Other chapters cover wood and router preparation, cutter specifications, safety, and woodworking hints and tips. At Lee Industries, we're proud of the exceptional quality of the design and materials that go into every one of our products. That's why Lee jigs are covered by a 5-year limited warranty. And at Lee, we look after your needs with our dedicated customer service and follow-up. If you have any questions or need advice about your Lee jig or accessories, our experienced technical staff will be happy to help you. If you have any questions about the Lee jig and its accessories which have not been answered by this video, please contact us at 1-800-663-8932. Lee Jigs, joining tradition with today.